What's up people, hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Ayman Hassan and welcome back to another video here at Most Amazing Top 10. Now I feel like Animaniacs was the first cartoon that did sketch comedy and did it well. And those are just the facts. See the reference just there? Animaniacs, and those are the facts. Yes? No? Someone just appreciate me please. Either way, I didn't get to watch a ton of episodes because it ended the year after I was born, but I have watched a few, don't you worry. So without further ado, these are the top 10 scary Animaniacs theories. Starting us off with number 10 are Time Lords or Nah Part 1. Now based on all the skits and adventures all the characters have, if there's one thing that's clear, it's that they time travel like nobody's business. And a fan called Steve Smith believes he's cracked the code as to why and how. They are Time Lords gone AWOL, literally. By Time Lords he's referencing the show Doctor Who, where Time Lords are a nearly immortal race of beings from the planet Gallifrey. Time Lords are sensitive to the flow of time and can obviously time travel, so either all the Animaniacs are Time Lords or Yakko is. I mean think about it, the water tower is huge on the inside but small on the outside, and they literally go through history and interfere in key events, so I'ma say Time Lords. But also, isn't the number one rule of time travel, if there was one, to not change things in the past if you don't want to affect the future? I mean they do a lot of things, why does it never interfere in their present time? They're breaking the number one rule, people. Coming in at number 9 are Time Lords or Nah Part 2. So if they're not Time Lords, then what exactly is going on in this animated series of confusion? The sub-theory of number 10 says, okay, well if they're not Time Lords, then maybe Warner Bros just has a bunch of time portals everywhere. And that also explains why it's not just Wakko, Yakko and Dot time traveling all the time, it's many of the characters. I mean Ralph the security guard was there in the 30s catching the Warners right after their creation, and 60 years later he looks exactly the same. I mean he hasn't aged a day. Maybe it's me, maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's Ralph. It's definitely Ralph. Even the three good feathers were there in World War II, Slappy and Skippy were at Woodstock, Rita and Runt were there during the Salem witch trials, and even when Poland was occupied by the Nazis. Honestly, the biggest cherry on top is the fact the hippos were on Noah's Ark. You tell me, is it Time Lords or is it time portals? Because things are just not adding up right now. At number 8 we have Skippy. He is so cute, I just want to pinch his fat ass cheeks and just cradle him like a baby. So Skippy is Slappy's nephew, and because Skippy's parents aren't in the picture, he lives with Slappy. But weirdly enough, we never actually see his parents, not once. And it's weird, we see such a huge host of characters you'd think they show up sometimes, but they don't. And keep in mind Slappy was a huge star in the 70s, so does she really have time to be raising her nephew while trying to climb the ladders of fame? Well, this scandalous theory claims that Skippy is actually Slappy's son. She had a fling with Screwy Squirrel and had Slappy out of wedlock, which is fine, but I mean in the 30s that would have destroyed her career, so to avoid all that, she just told everyone he was her nephew and raised him like her own. I mean at least she didn't abandon him, that would have been a lot worse. Kudos to you. Filling our number 7 slot is the Hippo Cartel. Never thought we'd be talking about a drug cartel when discussing a cartoon, but hey, it is what it is. So during the many skits of the show, we encounter Spanish hippos Flavio and Marita, and honestly they are living up, I would kill to be living their lavish ass lives. Either way, a fan theory from Redditor Juicely777 suggests the hippos were actually part of Pablo Escobar's personal zoo. They go on to say that explains why they have such lavish tastes and Latin accents. They were pampered in his Colombian compound and continued living on that drug money. And if we calculate, Escobar died in 1993 and the show started the same year, so it explains why the hippos are free to travel the world and be on the show. I mean I've watched Narcos and everything, and I know Pablo did a lot of people dirty, but I honestly wouldn't mind having him as my sugar daddy. I'm just gonna put it out there. And disclaimer guys, don't worry, I know not every Latin sounding hippo is part of the cartel. There are many Latin sounding people around the world, they're not part of the cartel. I'm just letting you know that Flavio and Marita probably are. Now at number 6 are Buttons' nightmares. Mindy is a pain in the ass, I swear she's always getting up to something, and Buttons nearly has a panic attack every time she moves. I mean it's just not a vibe. But that's who they are. Buttons will stop at nothing to protect Mindy, making him the real MVP. But on a darker side, this theory argues that Mindy's adventures are so damn unrealistic for a toddler that they can't be real. I mean yes, but it's also a cartoon, so a lot of things happening are not realistic. Either way, the theory goes on to say that all the adventures she has are actually just Buttons' nightmares. I mean think about it, he's always trying to sleep right before one of her escapades. Mindy literally scaled Notre Dame as a toddler. I mean there are no adults to be seen anywhere, and no one ever questions why Mindy is out by herself doing dangerous things. Buttons assumes humans are just ignorant based off Mindy's parents, so during sleep that gets heightened. Poor Buttons. Coming in at number 5 are Runt and Rita. They're so wholesome and cute, honestly they just get me every time. Now if you haven't watched the show, Runt is a dog, Rita is a cat, and they are best friends. And if we're being honest, Runt isn't the sharpest tool in the shed. Historically, cats and dogs are meant to hate each other, when that just really isn't the case. I mean, have you seen all those cute animal videos on Instagram when it's like a huge dog and like a tiny cat just cuddling? That's what I live for. Either way, we assume that Runt doesn't know Rita is a cat. I mean, he's mean to other cats he sees in the show, but never Rita. This theory claims that Rita is the one who freed Runt when he was in captivity in the pound, and that's why he can't hate her. And he definitely knows she's a cat because in the episode Frank and Runt, Rita literally says she's a cat and Runt had zero reaction. So either he does know or he's lying to himself. You choose. At number 4 is Chicken Boo, also known as GQ Man of the Year. We as a species have been looking for the most interesting man in the world, and ladies, believe me, you will not find him on Tinder. The answer has eluded us for so long when it's been right in front of us this whole time. This theory is adamant that Chicken Boo is the most interesting man in the world. Chicken Boo is a giant chicken who is literally good at everything. He's like that one kid in school who's popular, they're good looking, they're smart and athletic, and you're just like, how? And also you're like, can you not? Either way, he excels at everything under many disguises, and he usually gets caught at the peak of his career, which forces him to move city and get a new job. He's been sick at being a dancer, a sheriff, an army general, an actor, a martial artist. I mean, what can this man not do? People are so salty at how good he is that they either want to eat him or make him leave town. And I fully know he's a chicken, but he's still Cosmopolitan's most eligible bachelor of 2019, I have to say it. Filling our number 3 slot is the cartoon multiverse. Let's go back to where it all started for a quick second. The Warner siblings were created in the 30s, they came to life and then they got locked away in the water tower on the Warner Bros. Film set. We all know this, we've all got that, that's all good. But this theory suggests it didn't just stop there. What if the phenomenon happened again, and many more characters came to life, thus creating the worlds of Looney Tunes and the world of Toontown? I mean, all 3 shows animatedly look the same, the evidence is there. Toons and humans were divided into these worlds until Who Framed Roger Rabbit came around, which led to the breaking of that barrier. That explains why in Looney Tunes Back in Action, humans and cartoons live side by side together. But honestly though, if the creators didn't learn from their mistake the first time when they let these little siblings wreak havoc, they really just deserve to be dealing with the 6 billion other characters they've made. Real number may vary. Now at number 2 are the Furies. So in Greek mythology they were deities of the underworld called Furies, and they basically tormented every wrongdoer out there. Somehow this theory claims that they not only existed in the show, they were the 3 siblings. I'm sorry, what now? Apparently Wacko, Yakko, and Dot are the manifestations of these goddesses. Every story in the show introduces some villain who believes that they're better than everyone else, and then the 3 musketeers come in and give the bad guy that last chance to change his ways. If he chooses not to, well then the tormenting and hounding begins until the lesson is taught and the bad guy or the sinner repents and accepts this new path in life. Of course in the underworld the bad guy would probably be dead, ASAP Rocky, but it's a kids show so gotta keep it light and PG, am I right? And finally at number 1 is the backstory. There's always a super dark backstory cooked up for every cartoon, and Animaniacs is no exception. This theory goes in and says the Warner siblings were real kids that got locked away by their parents and became extremely malnourished and then later went insane. While being locked in their room, all they had was a TV where they OD'd on cartoons and the window where they saw all the creatures and animals in the outside world. When Child Protective Services finally came to rescue them, it was too late. Their minds were already far gone, and to cope with their imprisonment they imagined all these squirrels and pets that they'd seen out the window in a cartoon world. Everyone had a personality, they left no stone unturned and no detail unthought of. Even their room prison became the Warner Bros. Water Tower. Their life and the show mirrored each other. They first went to psychiatrist Dr. Scratch and Sniff and were saved by a nurse from malnourishment, hence they love nurses, and that's it really. Out of tragedy comes comedy skits, apparently. And that's it for today's video guys. Have you guys seen Animaniacs when you were younger? What do you think? Do these theories check out? Let me know in the comments below, as well as what other shows or cartoons you'd like to see us do. As always, I'm your host Ayman Hassan, and I'll see you next time. Bye!